Hello and welcome to Wonder Girl Tarot. This is a reading for the week of February 3rd through the 9th, 2020. It's a general reading, so it's for anyone who feels called to watch the video rather than for a particular star sign. I've already shuffled and drawn 3 cards. The first will represent Monday and Tuesday, the second Wednesday and Thursday, and the third the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But the energies that the cards represent may come and go throughout the week rather than being limited to those days. So I'll just turn them over and see what we've got. So for Monday and Tuesday, you have the Tower. Wednesday and Thursday, you have the Four of Wands. And for the weekend, the King of Cups. It seems that this week may begin quite dramatically. The Tower is a major arcana card, which represents change and upheaval, usually very unexpected, and in some way outside of your own control. So, for example, your landlord may tell you suddenly that you have to move, or you have some sort of accident, or you're hit with the news that the job that you've been doing is ending and you're going to be redundant. It doesn't have to be negative. That's just one option. It could also be very positive news. Somebody tells you that they want to get married and it's a huge shock for you. And the reason I'm saying that is because the Four of Wands is traditionally a marriage card, and the King of Cups is, cups represent emotions, so traditionally could be somebody who loves you. But you always look in tarot at the cards that are next to the card you're talking about. And with that in mind, I would say that it's a positive upheaval, because these cards that follow it are so light and good in some way. And in fact, the Tower, even when it is a negative change, for example, if you have to move suddenly, it may create a lot of stress in your life. You know, you have to do all the packing and you're wondering, where am I going to live now? Or even if it's a real ostensibly really positive, like somebody asking you to marry them, it could create a lot of upheaval. You have to adjust your way of looking at the world, the way you thought your future would go. Maybe you have to consider what you actually want. It might create a lot of turmoil, but that doesn't mean that it's not for your future happiness. Similarly, the Tower could represent, so towers usually, it's some sort of comfort zone. So literally like your home, or it could be a really negative and toxic habit, a negative and toxic relationship, something that you've become very accustomed to, but isn't necessarily for your benefit. And some sudden event comes in and makes that no longer sustainable. So let's say you're a heavy drinker and you have an accident of some sort, you're in the hospital and you can't drink because you're in your bed, and that is the catalyst for you giving the habit up altogether, something like that. Or you are in this unpleasant or unfulfilling relationship and the person tells you that they want to leave, and it's a big shock to you, but actually this is going to allow you to go on to a happier and more stable life. But you have to endure the discomfort of the change first. It could also be that it's going to be different for every person watching. So it could be that this isn't a big dramatic change on the outside, but you just begin the week feeling a bit unsettled. You can tell that things are shifting and changing inside of you, and that the person that you'll be in the future probably isn't going to be the person that you are now, and that may be a bit unsettling. And but there isn't anything you can do about it. So it could be something like that. However, the week becomes a lot more stable. Wednesday, Thursday, the Four of Wands literally represents stability. It's also celebrations, happiness, family, friends. Often is the card, like I said, it's the card for marriages, but it can also be graduations and parties, things like that, where you get together with other people and there's a lot of joy and lighthearted energy and a sense of belonging. It could also be that if the Tower represents a sudden move, the Four of Wands represents a new home, because it's also, there's that castle in the background, but then also the Four Wands here represent a kind of structure. And the Tower also, a poem is coming to mind. I think it's by Antonio Machado, but I don't remember the poem itself. So I'll just paraphrase something about, he says, "How did I never notice that the walls had been built so high, had been being built so high around me?" Something about waking up and realizing that you're in a prison that you didn't know was being built. And so the Tower can really be something like that. You've just been making yourself progressively more comfortable. You're focused on what you're doing, and you don't realize that your soul is being kind of fenced in this really toxic way. And it's only when some huge shakeup occurs that you realize that you've been released. And I say that because the Four of Wands is also structure, but it's one that has a lot of light and air in it, rather than these super tall walls. And so moving on to the weekend, we have the King of Cups. So if you begin the week feeling unsettled, you're going to end the week feeling much more at home in yourself. The King of Cups represents, well, he's the highest in the suit of cups, which represent emotions, feelings. So it can be somebody who maybe doesn't say how they feel a lot, but they've learned how to navigate their emotions so they're not overwhelmed by every passing feeling. They've learned how to ride the waves of whatever occurs on the outside or on the inside, and to remain calm and centered despite whatever they experience. So it could be that you're feeling like the King of Cups. It could also be that you're encountering somebody like the King of Cups, or that there is a person of this kind who's helping you in your upheaval. They could be helping you to move. It could be a new boss. If you're changing jobs, if this is represents a change in job or changing career, there could be somebody who's helping you to get into a new field. It could also be like if the Tower was some sort of injury, the King of Cups could be a doctor, some person in the healing profession. a therapist. Maybe you've had some kind of shock and you've decided to go and talk to somebody. And the King of Cups is a compassionate and self-contained person who knows how to listen and to give advice when that's necessary. It could also be, I can't remember if I've said this already, but if the Tower was, for example, somebody telling you their feelings, that was the shock. The Four of Wands could be the bright new future that you begin to envision with this person who loves you. The King of Cups is somebody who loves deeply. It can be a water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, but it can also just be somebody who comes across as in this very loving and well-balanced way. So it seems like this could be a very important week, but one that progresses from some kind of shake-up, shake-down to a newfound sense of stability, optimism, and emotional well-being. So I hope this reading was helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to leave me a comment, whether positive or not, in the comment section below. And I look forward to speaking with you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.